Everyone thinks modern tractors with GPS sensors and auto drive are unbeatable. But what if I told you some old American iron from the 40s, 50s, and 60s can still outwork today's high-tech machines? These tractors were built to last a lifetime. No computers, no fragile electronics, just pure muscle and legendary reliability. Farmers still trust them every single day, proving that old-school horsepower can stand tall against modern technology. Today, we're counting down 10 old American tractors that are still beating new tech, and the reasons why they refuse to die. Number 1. John Deere Model A, 1934–1952. The John Deere Model A is more than just an old tractor. It's a piece of American farming heritage that shaped the way families worked the land. When it was introduced in 1934, the Model A became John Deere's first true row crop tractor and quickly gained a reputation for being dependable, affordable, and versatile. With its famous two-cylinder engine that produced around 25–30 horsepower, it might not sound like much in today's world of 300 horsepower GPS-driven giants, but back then, it was a game-changer. Farmers loved the simplicity of the engine's design, which was so iconic it earned the nickname Johnny Popper because of its distinctive sound. Unlike today's computerized machines that sometimes require a service call just to restart, the Model A could be taken apart and repaired right in the barn with nothing more than a wrench, a hammer, and some know-how. That level of self-sufficiency is one of the biggest reasons so many are still running today. The Model A could handle nearly everything on a general farm, from plowing cornfields to pulling hay wagons, and many families relied on it as their main workhorse for decades. Its simple mechanics also made it durable enough to withstand the test of time. You'll still find these tractors starting up after sitting idle through long winters. Collectors prize them today, but for many farmers, they're not just a hobby machine. They remain a reliable backup tractor that can get work done when modern equipment is in the shop. In an age when downtime can cost thousands of dollars, the John Deere A is proof that old-school toughness still beats fancy electronics. Number 2. Farmall H. When International Harvester introduced the Farmall H in 1939, they knew they had created something special, but few could have guessed it would go on to be one of the most beloved tractors in America. The H wasn't the biggest tractor on the market, but that was never the point. It was built to be versatile, an all-purpose machine that could handle row crops, cultivating, hauling, and just about any other farm job. With its 26-horsepower four-cylinder engine, it was the perfect middle ground, strong enough for serious work, but light and nimble enough to maneuver between rows of corn. Farmers soon discovered that the H was not only reliable, but nearly indestructible. One of the most impressive things about the Farmall H is how many are still in operation more than 70 years later. Its open design made it easy to work on, and parts were plentiful, which meant farmers could keep them going without waiting weeks for repairs. Unlike today's tractors that require laptops and diagnostic software to fix even small issues, the Farmall H could be repaired with a basic set of wrenches and a grease gun. It was designed during a time when tractors had to last, and that durability shows every time one still pulls a plow today. For many farmers, the Farmall H was the tractor they learned to drive on as kids, and it continues to hold a special place in farming history. It may not have the horsepower of modern machines, but its adaptability, dependability, and sheer longevity make it a living legend. Number 3. Allis-Chalmers WD45, 1953–1957. The Allis-Chalmers WD45 is remembered not just as a powerful tractor, but as a symbol of progress in American farming. When it came out in 1953, it was one of the first production tractors to feature power steering, something that seems basic today but was revolutionary at the time. Farmers who had spent years muscling heavy steel wheels through the fields couldn't believe the difference. Suddenly, long days of plowing and cultivating were less punishing, and efficiency skyrocketed. The WD45 also came equipped with a 45-horsepower engine that gave it serious pulling power, making it capable of handling larger implements and heavier workloads than its competitors. What sets the WD45 apart today is how tough it was built. Farmers often describe it as built like a tank, and many of these machines are still working the land nearly 70 years later. Unlike modern tractors, which can be taken out of service by a faulty sensor or a software glitch, the WD45 runs on pure mechanical durability. It doesn't matter if it's plowing a field, pulling a disc, or hauling firewood, the WD45 just keeps going. That rugged reliability is why so many of them are still in daily use, especially on small to mid-sized farms where high-tech equipment isn't necessary. Collectors also value the WD45 for its iconic orange paint and historical significance, but for working farmers, it's simply a tractor that still gets the job done. It represents a turning point in agricultural engineering, blending innovation with simplicity, and proves that some machines were truly built to last. Number 4. Ford 8N, 1947-1952. Few tractors have achieved the kind of legendary status that the Ford 8N has. Released in 1947, it became the best-selling tractor of its time and is still one of the most recognizable machines in American farming history. What made the 8N so successful was its combination of affordability, versatility, and ease of use. It came equipped with Ford's revolutionary three-point hitch system, which allowed farmers to easily attach and adjust implements. This feature alone transformed farming efficiency, as it made the 8N adaptable for everything from plowing and planting to mowing and hauling. The 27-horsepower engine may not sound impressive compared to today's massive machines, but the 8N wasn't designed to compete on raw power. It was designed to be a farmer's all-around helper, capable of handling small to medium jobs with ease. Millions of them were built, and because they were so common, parts remain widely available today. That availability, combined with its straightforward design, has kept countless Ford 8Ns running in the fields well into the 21st century. For many farmers, it's the tractor that just works. No computers, no fancy hydraulics, just a reliable engine and a sturdy frame. Even hobby farmers and collectors love them for their nostalgic value and practical use. While modern tractors may boast GPS systems and climate-controlled cabs, the Ford 8N continues to remind farmers that sometimes the simplest designs are the most enduring. Number 5. Minneapolis-Moline G1000. The Minneapolis-Moline G1000 was the kind of tractor that turned heads when it hit the fields in the mid-1960s. At over 100 horsepower, it was one of the biggest and most powerful machines of its day, designed to meet the growing demand for larger equipment as American farms expanded. Farmers who bought the G1000 quickly discovered that it wasn't just powerful, it was also dependable. Whether it was pulling heavy plows, running big cultivators, or handling demanding tillage work, the G1000 delivered raw, no-nonsense performance. What makes the G1000 remarkable is how well it has stood the test of time. Even today, many of these tractors are still in use, especially in areas where big, heavy work is needed. Farmers appreciate its simplicity and sheer pulling strength, which in many cases can rival modern tractors that cost 10 times as much. The G1000 was also a proud symbol of Minneapolis-Moline's engineering, a company that may be gone now, but left behind machines that refuse to fade into history. Collectors see the G1000 as one of the most iconic models the company ever built, while working farmers still see it as a practical tool. In a farming world dominated by high-tech solutions, the G1000 proves that sometimes raw horsepower and solid mechanics are all you really need. Number 6. Oliver 77. The Oliver 77 holds a special place in American tractor history, not only for its durability, but also for the innovations it brought to farming in the post-World War II years. When it rolled out in 1947, Oliver was aiming to give farmers a machine that combined strength with operator comfort, something that wasn't always a priority in earlier designs. The 77 came with several fuel options: gasoline, diesel, and propane, making it adaptable to the different fuel preferences and availabilities across rural America at the time. With about 40 horsepower from its smooth-running 6-cylinder engine, it offered a level of refinement and power that set it apart from many competitors. Farmers appreciated how smoothly it ran compared to the choppier 2-cylinder tractors of the day, and they quickly found it capable of handling everything from plowing to cultivating to belt work. What makes the Oliver 77 remarkable today is how many of them are still in reliable working order. Thanks to its straightforward design, solid frame, and accessible mechanics, the 77 has proven itself nearly indestructible in the hands of farmers who maintain it. Unlike modern tractors packed with electronics, the Oliver 77 asks very little from its owner. Regular oil changes, a bit of grease, and a steady hand on the wrench Many of these tractors have been passed down through generations, becoming family heirlooms as much as farming tools. For those who grew up with one, the Oliver 77 represents not just a machine, but a connection to a way of life where reliability, tradition, and self-sufficiency mattered most. In today's tech-heavy world, it's proof that a machine built with care and simplicity can keep pulling its weight decade after decade. Number 7. Case VAK, 1942-1955. The Case VAK may not have been the biggest tractor of its time, but it earned its reputation as one of the most dependable small farm tractors ever built. Introduced during the early 1940s, the VAK was designed for smaller farms that needed a versatile, affordable machine to replace horses but couldn't justify the cost or size of larger models. With its compact frame and roughly 20 horsepower four-cylinder engine, the VAK excelled at general-purpose work, plowing small fields, cultivating row crops, pulling wagons, and powering belt-driven equipment. Its lightweight and nimble handling also made it especially useful in orchards and gardens, where larger tractors struggled to maneuver. What really sets the Case VAK apart, even today, is its simplicity. Farmers often remark that the VAK is a tractor anyone with basic mechanical skills can keep running indefinitely. No complicated wiring harnesses, no computer systems, no finicky sensors, just a simple carburetor, ignition, and engine that can be repaired in a barn or backyard. Even after 70 years, countless VAKs are still being used on hobby farms, for light chores, or by collectors who appreciate their role in America's agricultural history. For small-scale farmers, the Case VAK continues to prove that good engineering doesn't have to be complex, and that sometimes the smallest machines have the longest-lasting impact. Number 8. Massey-Harris 44, 1946-1955. The Massey-Harris 44 is remembered as one of the most versatile and reliable tractors of the late 1940s and early 1950s. Introduced in 1946, it was designed to compete directly with models from John Deere and International Harvester, and it did so with impressive results. With a 45 horsepower engine available in gasoline, diesel, or LP gas, this tractor gave farmers options and the kind of raw power they needed for heavy field work. Its size and strength made it perfect for plowing, disking, cultivating, and hauling, and it became a go-to machine on mid-sized farms across the United States. What makes the Massey-Harris 44 stand out even today is its ruggedness. Built during a time when equipment was expected to last decades, the 44 was constructed from thick steel and engineered for longevity. Many tractors from this line are still operating in the fields, performing tasks that could just as easily be done by modern machines. For farmers and collectors alike, the 44 also represents a critical point in tractor history. Massey-Harris was soon to merge with Ferguson to create Massey-Ferguson, one of the most famous names in agriculture. The 44 remains a symbol of that earlier era, when competition drove companies to build stronger, better machines to win farmers' trust. Today, it's still proving that the craftsmanship of the post-war era can stand toe-to-toe with modern technology. Number 9. John Deere 4020. The John Deere 4020 is often considered one of the greatest tractors ever built, and for good reason. Released in 1963, it represented a huge leap forward in terms of power, comfort, and versatility. With a 95 horsepower engine, advanced hydraulics, and the option of a power-shift transmission, it was a tractor that could handle almost anything a farmer threw at it. Over its production run, more than 180,000 units were sold, making it one of the best-selling tractors in history. Farmers loved it not just because of its muscle, but because it was reliable day in and day out, year after year. What makes the 4020 especially fascinating today is how relevant it still is. Even though more than 50 years have passed since it first rolled off the assembly line, many 4020s remain in daily use across the United States. Their combination of power and simplicity gives them an edge over modern tractors that are often sidelined by electronic failures or software problems. Farmers know that when their newer equipment is down, the 4020 can be counted on to keep the farm running. Its rugged frame, strong engine, and easy-to-service design mean that it's not only a piece of history, but also a practical tool that continues to outperform expectations. Collectors prize it, farmers rely on it, and the 4020's reputation as the tractor that changed everything is well-deserved. Number 10. International Harvester Farmall M. The Farmall M is another timeless classic from International Harvester, and it remains one of the most beloved row crop tractors of all time. Introduced in 1939, the M was built larger and stronger than the Farmall H, producing between 38 and 44 horsepower from its four-cylinder engine. At a time when American farms were growing in size and output, the M provided the extra muscle needed to pull bigger plows, cultivate larger fields, and haul heavier loads. It was the backbone of many family farms through the 1940s, and it established a reputation for being nearly indestructible. Even today, countless Farmall M tractors are still working hard across America. Their durability comes from heavy-duty construction and straightforward mechanics. No unnecessary complexity, just a reliable engine and a strong frame that can take a beating. Farmers appreciate how easy they are to fix, how widely available parts remain, and how dependable they are even after decades of use. The Farmall M is more than just a machine. For many families, it's a reminder of generations past and the values of hard work, perseverance, and self-reliance. In comparison to modern tractors that sometimes spend more time waiting on service calls than in the field, the M demonstrates that a simple, well-built machine can still outperform high-tech alternatives. It is, without a doubt, a lasting symbol of American farming power. So there you have it, 10 old American tractors that continue to prove you don't need the latest gadgets to get the toughest jobs done. These machines are more than tractors. They're a legacy of hard work, durability, and American engineering at its finest. Which of these tractors impressed you the most? Or do you think a modern tractor can really beat them? Let me know in the comments below. And if you love legendary machines like these, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tractor history and farming power. Until next time, keep those engines running strong.